Of a power outage in the heat of the summer. We know that anxiety of opening an electricity bill like of your household or business income. I acknowledge that for too long, the cost of doing business and the cost of living in the Bahamas has been inflated by an energy sector that was stuck in the 20th century. For the energy to assure that the government's goal is singular and unwavering. Reliability and of LNG terminal will help us to ensure that when you flip a switch, the light comes on every time. It will ensure that our hotels, our hospitals, and our schools can operate without fear of interruption. More importantly, by moving to a more efficient, stable fuel source like LNG, we are creating the pathway to lower electricity bills. This is not a maybe. This is the plan. We are decoupling our fate from the wild swings of the global market and ambitions of a
Well, a major move to secure financing for the country's first liquefied natural gas public-private partnership with Focal Holdings Limited. Our Devontae Hanna has the details in this report tonight.
Months of discussions coming now to the final moment where the country will now have its first LNG plant constructed here in New Providence. Now it was all sealed with a ceremonial signing here at Zapadilla Restaurant.
Focal's financing platform for its LNG to power project officially closed for a lump sum total of $379.2 million. That includes a $335 million Bahamian dollar syndicate loan led by CIBC with participation from RBC Royal Bank, Scotiabank, and Bank of the Bahamas. It also includes a US dollar component totaling $42.2 million from the US Export-Import Bank of the United States.
This transaction, which has been pegged at nearly $400 million, is a significant moment for the Bahamas. This, according to Sir Franklin Wilson, he's the chairman of Focal Holdings Limited. He says that this is the largest quantum of Bahamian dollar for any private transaction in the Bahamas.
Great thought into this transaction was to make sure Focal has the capacity to grow. And this structure in Bahamian dollars and that alignment with US dollars opens a door that is extremely wide.
Now, a major campaign promise for the Davis administration within the last general election was to ease the burden on the Bahamian pockets. Now, Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis says with this introduction of Bahamas, that is exactly what is expected.
It takes a lot to get us to that point in the grid, but the terminal, key part, Haitian LNG terminal out at Clifton, and then having that provide the LNG into the generation, the conversion of those engines would allow us to then see LNG being as the fuel that goes into the grid to provide power. And that would be one of the leading fuels. It's cleaner, it's affordable, and it allows us to bring the cost down, but also expand the technology.
And it's not the first time the introduction of LNG to the Bahamas has been discussed, but today's signing marked a historic move towards that goal. No exact timeline on the construction phase has been revealed. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
While a major move to secure financing for the country's first liquefied natural
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and we want to thank you so much for being here. As always, spending your Sunday evenings with us, learning exactly what is going on in our Bahamas. And of course, educating yourselves, educating your family, and being a part of this movement, being a part of making sure the Bahamians know what's going on in our country, being a part of a new mindset for Bahamians. And of course, today we have a few things that we have to educate the Bahamian people on, a few interesting things to educate the Bahamian people on. And I'm sure you've seen the title that they've put up for this video. The titles, the topics, they're serious topics. And right now we have to keep informing the Bahamian people. Some people ask, why are we doing this? Why are you constantly going out there and talking about this stuff? It's because Bahamians don't just have a right to know, they need to know. Our politicians refuse to give us the Freedom of Information Act. And so we have to be the Freedom of Information Act. We have to put ourselves out there and take the risk and be on the front line in order for Bahamians to know what's going on in their country. Otherwise, it's going to be press conferences where they really say nothing and deceive the Bahamian public, or it's going to be more of these stories and deceptions where the media doesn't go hard into them. The media doesn't pay close attention to what is really going on. And if we don't do this, who's going to do this? That's the question that you must ask yourselves. If we don't do this, someone asked me the question, why are you focusing on a Gardner situation? You should understand very carefully that the Eric Player Gardner situation is not an Eric Player Gardner situation. Situation about corruption in our country, embedded, devastating corruption in our country. We don't care about Eric Gardner and his personal life. We don't care about his person come before us. But we care about in our country. We care about what our taxpayer dollars is doing. That concerns us. If it's money laundering that's being done with our taxpayer dollars, we are concerned with that. If buildings are being built and rented to drug dealers, we have to be concerned with that as a people. How could we not want to discuss that? How could that not be an important issue in any nation? What do you think would happen if in England they found out that the government was renting buildings from drug dealers? What do you think would happen? The prime minister would probably immediately step down. Definitely the minister of finance would step down. What do you think would happen in America if they found out that the government was renting buildings from drug dealers? And the thing is not to say that negative stuff or bad stuff doesn't happen in these countries too, you know. But I can tell you one thing. I see politicians being arrested and locked up in those other countries. I don't see that happening in our country. Not while they're in power. I see accountability in those other countries. I don't see that happening in our country. And that's why we have to be vigilant as a people to ensure that our country doesn't go to the dogs. And so, are we going to talk about this? Yes, we're going to talk about this. And if you think that this is for politics and you don't understand what's going on, election is over. We filed for election court on June 1st, and they are ignoring our filing. Just like the filing of the Patriots, that group that filed to deal with the citizenships, persons getting citizenships in our country without renouncing their citizenship. That's being ignored. And so Bahamians need to realize what's going on right around them. And it's their choice to wake up. But we have a job to do. And we're going to do this. We have nothing personal against Eric Blair Gardner. Don't know him. Never met him. Don't care about his personal life. But we care if the taxpayer dollar is being used to launder money for a drug operation. For there to be any Bahamian who doesn't understand that should be concerning to all Bahamians. That should be strange for any Bahamian to hear that there are persons who don't understand the seriousness of that. All right? So, for those who don't understand what that means and the seriousness of that for our country, and they don't want us talking about those persons, I'm sorry, I can't help you, because we're going to continue to do what we have to do. All right? And today we're going to talk about BPL. You'll swing again. See what's happening. The blackouts are going to slow down now. I'm going to tell you why the blackouts is happening. You just got to wake up and educate yourselves. We're going to talk about how you just got swing. And you saw the videos we were playing in the beginning. We'll get to that in a minute. Before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you that we have a few things coming up in short order. And so in a matter of days, on August 3rd, we're going to have our soup and sauce out at our headquarters. Support the movement. Continue to support us and what we're doing. Soups are $20 and sauce is just $15. And it's all kind of sauce, mutton sauce, pig, sheep, everything. And so just be a part of that. There's also stew fish, etc., that's going to be for sale. So if you don't eat the sauce, if you don't eat red meat, we have stew fish that you can take advantage of. It's going to be fabulous. The soup with everything in it is going to be amazing. We have some of the greatest chefs in the COI, and so you can be a part of that. And so you can get your sauce, or you can get your soup. All right, and so and that's going to be on August 3rd. We start at 7 a.m. in the morning. That's August Monday, by the way. So that's your holiday. So come out and support us on that day. We'll be there hanging out while supplies last, and come and get yours. Now, don't wait to get your ticket. You can get it, buy it right there, but we need you to buy your tickets ahead of time. And so You can go to our headquarters in Chippenham any day. You can Google our headquarters and it'll show you where it is. All right. So just go into Google and put Coalition of Independence headquarters or Coalition of Independence, and it'll direct you straight to our headquarters in Chippenham. Okay. And so you can go right there any weekday from 9 to 5, and you can get your tickets. Okay. I think it's really 10 to 5. And you can get your tickets. Just go right there and purchase your tickets. Come on now, support the movement wherever you can. If you want to donate, it's not too late. But of course, that is going to be on the 3rd of August. Now, in a couple of days from here, it's the 19th already. Wow, July is gone. In a couple of days, we're also going to have another. We're going to have another event, and that's of course our monthly dollar drive. And so we're going to be under the tent on the streets right there, and so you can come and join us, be a part of what we're doing. And so you're gonna be able to be a part of our dollar drive. And so support the movement, come out, fund the movement. Some say, well, what y'all collecting money for if election is over? We have to continue. We have bills, we have headquarters, we have electricity and all these other expenses. We have staff to pay, etc. in the office. And so we got to keep going. Everything that we're doing costs money. And in order for us to keep going, in order for us to do a lot of things that we're doing, it costs. And so you need you to support the movement. It's not just about election. In fact, to be honest with you, and again, that's going to be by Arm Bailey Park, and that's on the 25th, which is Saturday coming. And so make sure you come out and be a part of what we're doing. All right. And so I'd love to see you there. I'd love to be there with you. And so please come and join us and be a part of doing what you can to transform this movement. All right. It's going to take a lot to get this done. We're the only real opposition out there, and we need your help to get this done. There are many people who say, you're going to keep going. But we can't keep going unless you help us to keep going. And so we need you to be a part of this movement and what we're doing. All right. And we can only do this with your help. And so make sure you do that. In the meantime, you can also, with the QR codes that we have, I'm putting on the screen right now, and I think it should put a text you can click on in the chat. You can support the movement. So if you're in the Bahamas, you can use this one and support the movement. Or if you're in any other country, you can use this one, GoFundMe, and you can support the movement. Of course, you can also go to our website at any time. Go to either scroll down or go to donate in the menu, and you can support the movement at any time. Use your card and be a part of the movement. And you can join up as a member and continue to support the movement. That's how we're going to get this done. That's the only way we're going to get this done. So those are the ways to support the movement. So Dollar Drive is coming up on Saturday. So just come out to Arm Bailey Park and be a part. You come sit with us and whatever you want to do. We'll have some sauce and whatever out there. But come sit with us and hang out, and you can come and support the movement. So we'll be there. And also on August 3rd, we'll also be at our headquarters. All right. So be there with us. Also, our numbers have changed. And so if you want to get in contact with us, you can call our national headquarters at 821 for COI. That's 821-4264, which is the same as 821 for COI. All right. You can also call 821-4265. And that's if you want to become a member. All right. If you want to join up, if you have any general membership inquiries, you can call 821-4265. But also, it can reach us for any reason at 821-4264. And those are the numbers. And so someone can put them in the chat and make sure you're up to date. We're going to make sure they put them on our social media page and on our website so you know exactly what is happening at any time. All right. So looking forward to seeing all of you. Looking forward to continuing to fight this movement. It's not easy when you have an entire system that you're trying to change and that is organized against you. But we have to continue doing what we're doing, and we need your help in order to do that. All right. So thank you all so much for those persons who have been instrumental in helping us to get where we need to get to. All right. So thank you and God bless you for that. Now it's time to get to what we came to talk about. We got a couple of things. The first thing, this is just a little side note. We just thought it was a little entertaining and a little funny. And so we thought it would be cute to put this in here. We noticed that, you know, when the PLP got in the last time and they went to the UN right after that, they carried huge contingents with them, and everyone was there. The PM was there. Everyone was there. Some ministers were there. Um, all kind of people were there. I mean, supporters and people who support the party, who sell fruits inside the street. Everyone was there. Everyone was there. I mean, they had big contingents. I mean, it was so huge. They were traveling to the UN, and y'all remember it. I don't have to put up all the pictures and show everything they was doing, but they were traveling to the UN, and they said it was justified because they said, you know, the PM was in high demand, and that was that was entertaining to hear, because you know. It was entertaining to hear, because when the PM was speaking, there was no one there. All right, and that was the first thing. We had big contingents there, and there were more people in their contingent probably than was sitting in the UN theater while the PM was speaking to them. And so I remember vividly those pictures. Let me. I'll put those one up. I just thought it was entertaining. Some of you might not remember. Um, some of you might not remember those pics. I'm gonna pull them up for you because it really was entertaining to look back at them, my team. Uh, it just it's so entertaining how every time we start to do this stuff, how everything starts to freeze up. Yeah, everything is frozen. Everything's locked down all of a sudden. But okay, I'll just pull this up. All right. So you may remember the UN, right? And clear. I know they said the PLP ducked the UN, but the fact of the matter is, it really was that the PLP sent Lisa ramming, whereas they normally have huge contingents going to these stuff. This time it was just Lisa ramming by herself, going to the UN. And so when we saw that, we were like, well, what's going on here?
We're on day 2 at the United Nations, New York. A high-level meeting. Our panel discussions are about to start. And so, as you can see, global behind me, right? All nations.
So she's proud. She said, as you can see, there's a ball behind her, global. And so she is so proud. And so Lisa Ramming went, and you saw Stephen Dean, the former police officer, and a couple other people was there. But it's like, what happened to the big contingent? What happened to all the MPs traveling for every reason? Now, you know, that's entertaining. Let me wake you up and remind you about, where is this? Let me wake you up and remind you about uh, what it used to be like. Um, there we go. Let me just pull up these pictures for you, because I'm trying to figure out why wouldn't the PLP go, you know, in mass like they did before? Because you may say, okay, maybe they were dealing with something that's specific to her ministry, but on many occasions, it was stuff specific to ministries, and everyone went. The PM went. Everyone went, and so this was while the PM was speaking. The place was empty, and a couple people there, but the place was empty. And so he was speaking, and you could hear echo while he was speaking, actually, because the place was so empty. And Fred Mitchell took this picture himself. I'll show you how I know. Fred Mitchell took this picture of the empty building. He should have just zoomed into to Brave. I don't know why he didn't. I hope y'all can see me clearly. Let me make sure. Hope y'all can see the picture clearly. Sorry. Um, make sure y'all can see this good. Okay, let me put it on the bigger one. Good. Now y'all can see good. All right. Perfect. All right. Just wanted to make sure y'all can see properly. All right. So that's what Fred Mitchell did. Um, let me just scroll through a bunch of pics. See if I could. Okay. So here is when Fred Mitchell did his left. That's the Bahamian contingent right there. So there's a bunch of them sitting in the corner. No one looks like they want to be here. That's concerning to me. Look at everyone. Like this one has his head down. A couple of them have their head down. A couple of them looking in every other direction other than at the PM. This is this is concerning to me, to be honest with you. Like no one checking, literally. Like they just listen. We just want to hurry up, leave here because we got to go to the club and spend money tonight. Um, Here's the contingent again. They look disengaged, like they really, really don't want to be here. And this is while the PM is speaking. Sorry, I gotta shuffle through these to get to where I wanted to get to. Okay, okay. Now hold on. Oops, stop sharing. All right, so let me. I just thought it was entertaining to see that where the people literally wasn't checking, and if you there was a picture there with Fred Mitchell, um, where you could see that. Okay, let me pull it up for you. A picture here with Fred Mitchell, and you can see that the place is absolutely empty. It's like no one is interested. Right. So this one, as you can see, there's some more of the Bahamian contingent, and Maserota is there. Uh, Wendell Jones is in the back of him, and all the seats in the back are empty, totally empty. And you can see Fred took the picture because you can see he was in that position. All right. So it's entertaining to say the least. All right. Um, and as you can see, back in those days, they was traveling, man. They was living their best life. They was living their best life, traveling. I'm gonna get to some other stuff in here for y'all in a minute. But they was living their best life, traveling, and of course, there's a bunch of pictures with them, but we won't go into that. So, how? How did it all of a sudden the members of parliament and the prime minister, etc., have no interest in going to the UN? All of a sudden, all of a sudden, I was going to play a video with PM talking and Fred Mitchell talking. You know what? I want to play those videos because I want you to hear when they took those big contingents. I want you all to hear this. I want you all to hear what they was talking about because Bahamians forget. I want you to see what the topic of their discussion was at the UN. I'm going to do these contingents. Listen carefully.
Continue to suffer. Political vacuum. Incident just over a year ago has led to more violence, with the instability fueling more tragedy and threatening the entire region. Migration is not the only issue which the Bahamas is grappling with. We are also struggling from the proliferation of guns. We do not manufacture guns in our country, and yet they illegally find their way to the Bahamas. And with
So my thing is, this is your chance at the UN, your first time there, and you're talking about Haiti. That that didn't fly right with a lot of Bahamians, but of course, we put them back, so we must be like it. Um, so his conversations with Haiti, and then the guns, which actually come from Haiti, most of it. Most of it doesn't come from straight from Haiti. Here's what Fred had to say.
Voices to reject the gospel according to no. So long as we have our voices and so on until we succeed and justice is served. We do not accept the gospel according to no when it comes to Haiti. As the first black republic and the first independent Caribbean state, Haiti has paid dearly for daring to declare and assert their independence from colonial rule back in 1804. First, they were forced to pay some $20 billion in today's money to be let alone by their former colonial masters. Then they were, in the 20th century, ruled by an invading military for 2 decades that took all the wealth from their treasury and forced the payments back to Washington, D.C. And today, we wonder why the situation is as dire as it is.
So these fellas went to the UN. All the stuff happening in the Bahamas, all the stuff that we need, they're going to talk about Haiti. Fred was talking about a loan that Haiti had, so it was forced to pay for the war, for freeing themselves. It was equivalent to $20 billion today. We have paid much more of that in loans, and y'all have done nothing about it. We're heading to $15 billion in debt right now. That's not included everything else from the past. We spend much more of that on debt. We need to be worried about the debt that we have, not the debt that Haiti had. All right, that's already paid off. And so their concern was always Haiti, Haiti, Haiti. And they took big contingents to go to the UN to talk about Haiti. But now, I need y'all to use this budget. Y'all have a big budget. Y'all increase the travel budget. And so I need y'all to use this budget. Why are y'all not using the budget? What's the problem with y'all going to New York now? Y'all went to New York before. What's the problem with going to New York now? We see y'all jump on the plane to go to St. Lucia. You carried a big contingent there to St. Lucia. What happened to New York? What happened to the UN? When it was COP26, COP27, that's a environmental seminar, and so well, kind of a summit, and so everyone went to that in Dubai, except the Minister of Environment, which was Vaughan Miller. So why didn't you send the minister responsible for that instead of spending all that money on tickets? Now all of a sudden, no one want to go to New York. We need some of y'all to go to New York, please. We need some of y'all to go to New York. Why have the budget if you're not spending it? So, listen, it's not over. It's not finished yet, as far as I know. Some of y'all go keep Lisa Ramming company, please. Please. All right? Please keep Lisa Ramming company. Someone says 50 views, things bad. That's probably a PLP, that's the average. They don't understand these complex stuff. Wherever you're watching it has different amounts of views. All right, we got 10,000 people watching this right now, 10,090 all over the world right now. They don't know that if they watch it on Bahamian Evolution Facebook, it could have 50. If they watch it on Coalition of Independence, it could have 200. If they watch it on my own, it could have 700, 800. If they watch it on YouTube, where I think most of the people watching it right now, it'll have different numbers. Yep, big numbers on YouTube. And so they don't understand that. So the little the PLP trolls coping to they fighting to cope to understand things in this new media world. All right, so say 50 views. All right, so all right, I just happened to see that while looking at the screen on the side. um, uh, so, ladies and gentlemen, um, I just thought that was important to just touch on before we get further into this. That because that was very entertaining, and so we don't understand what the problem is, why all of a sudden they're not going. But we need you all to travel, man, especially to the U.S. We need you all to travel, man. Use that travel budget, please. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You know, in fact, use Bahamas Air if you have to, don't, because you know you don't pay them back. Just go in Bahamas Air and love yourself. All right, how about that? Y'all could eat all the first class y'all want. Y'all could eat all the 5-star restaurants y'all want. Just go spend that money in New York, man. Don't let Lisa Ramen go on her own. There's been many stuff that's referenced to just a ministry that all them pile up and go on and carry everybody with them. Now they ain't doing it. I wonder why. All right. So just wanted to say that. So when we say the PLP ducked this meeting in New York, we didn't mean that no one went. Yeah, we know Lisa Ramen went, but why only Lisa Ramen gone? It's looking strange. Why you ain't traveling? You all straight, man? You all good? You know I'm gonna bother you all. Don't be scared. Don't be care y'all. This y'all good. Just just jump in the plane and go, man. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of them, man. Y'all have diplomatic community, remember? Scared of. So after talking about that, I want to just update you on this. I wanted to do a whole outline with Eric Gardner from the beginning to now because there's some people who just started listening to us. They haven't watched all of these series to show all of the corruption that's going on. But I think I'm not gonna do that today. I wanted to start doing it. I just wanted to remind you though that um, based on our investigations, we don't see where Eric Gardner is paying real property tax for his buildings or all of his buildings, and that's concerning because his lawyer, Alicia Bo, is the person who is responsible for when your building gets taken. She deals with that. That's concerning. With his ties to government, that's concerning. We showed you a building that we checked out on Soldier Road, and that yellow building that used to have flowers and VIP, almost by NCA. How are you? How did you evaluate taxes for all the buildings around it, but not that building? How is that possible? How is the drug dealer's building that's been there for so long the only building that they didn't touch? Understand? How is that? And now they're trying to sell it. How are you going to sell that without dealing with the real property tax? I don't know. How are you going to do that? It might be something I don't understand. So maybe if someone could explain that to me, that's important. I mean, what kind of power do you have when you're a drug dealer in this country? Someone please explain that to me. We've shown you the building. We've shown you where I think Bahamas Realty is advertising it for $900,000. That's a discount down from I think 1.4 million or something. I think. But how could Bahamas Realty? I mean, that is a reputable company. How could they be in the business of selling the drug dealer property? How is that? I just want everyone to know that the authorities know all of Eric Gardner's property already. The search is done. And so if you buy any of his properties, you are participating in money laundering. They come in for his properties. So if he tries to sell any property right now while he's in jail, and he's already been served with an indictment that says that they come into his properties and you help him by buying it, don't think you could cry ignorance. If you help him by selling it, don't think you could cry ignorance. I'm trying to help you. This ain't to hurt him. This ain't to hurt you. I don't want no other Bahamians tangled up. The more we investigated this, the more we see that regular Bahamians, talented Bahamians, Bahamians who are normally good and don't mix up with them stuff, have been mixed up for whatever reason. So them buildings, don't tangle up yourself, eh? Don't tangle up yourself. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, just be wise when it comes to that. So, I just wanted to do that. I was going to update on all what's going on and update you with some stuff about this case. Now, I just want you to know that Eric Blair Gardner is in MDC in Brooklyn, the prison, and I thought our MPs would want to go over there to see him, to hail him, see how he's doing. I guess they don't want to go because then he might say, well, why y'all didn't come to hail me and you all know I was right there? I know you all was in town. I see it in prison on social media. Why y'all didn't come hail me? So I don't know if maybe that's why they're not going. But anyway, if y'all want on the 8th floor, they call that floor Chomo floor. The reason they call it that is because that's a floor where they keep child molesters, the most notorious child molesters and evil rapists and those demonic people in the world. They're keeping him with them on the 8th floor. So if y'all want to go visit him, that's where he is, right on the 8th floor with the child molesters. I don't know why they have him there with the child molesters, but they have to separate him from the other accused, so they can't put them on the same floor. So that may be the reason. But they put him on the floor with the child molesters. I hope he's safe, because there's some demented people he's around. I hope when he goes to sleep, he's okay. But if y'all want to see him, that's where he is, okay? Right on the 8th floor. So Lisa, if you want to go see him, I mean, you can go see him too. Right on the 8th floor, on the child molesters floor. All right, so just wanted to get that out of the way. We have documents about this Marvin Dames drug boat. Again, I was going to go through that. I'm not gonna go through it, but I'm just gonna let you know. Well, before that, right now, what is happening with Eric Gardner? I'm sorry, is that there's discovery going on. So his lawyers are now getting their emails are being loaded up with the evidence of what's happening, because the case is supposed to start in September. And that's probably going to get pushed back, all right, because he's going to have to start negotiating at some point. But right now, they're getting discovery. So right now, they are finding out exactly what the evidence is. And of course, Gardner now has access to phones, all right, because of where he is. He can now call whom he could call whoever he wants to call in the Bahamas. Anyone he could call. He could call, Jobet, Brave. He could call anybody. He could call Alicia. Now he's free to do so. His friends and family. He can call them now. I mean, he has access to the outside world. So he could even call and say, hey, go shut up that person, silence them, get rid of this, sell this, move that. But I just want you all to know that he now is being flooded with discovery. So now he knows what they know. And he's going to know all this stuff that we've been telling you. And of course, we are running no investigation here in the Bahamas. The drugs was run from the Bahamas, but no investigation here. I wonder why. Okay, so just want to get it out of the way. Now, the Marvin Amos both thing, we have the documents, the court documents, and all that. A plea change happened, and so now no one else is going to get involved. They talked about seizures of everything involved with it, so the boat should be seized, but we are hearing that it might not. We're looking to see what's going on with that, to see whether Marvin Amos boat was seized or not. But according to the documents, he's supposed to cooperate. Again, we have all these documents, but I don't want to go through all of that. I want to talk with BPL today and then take your calls. So Marvin Dames is off the because the fella said that he is doing it on his own. All right. So now Marvin Dames won't be implicated in that, just to update you with that. But he could lose his boat. He could, as well as he may not. All right, so that's the situation there. So instead of reading through all that, I'm just going to leave that there. Now, it's time to talk about the blackouts. It's serious, y'all. It's serious. Firstly, I want to talk about the fact that the blackouts started happening all of a sudden. And I want you to understand something. Those blackouts did not happen out of nowhere. I don't believe in any lightning strike. I believe that one, the blackouts was a distraction to get you all to stop talking about Eric Gardner's situation and to start talking about something else. That's what I believe. That's what they always do when this kind of stuff comes up. And so they ended Parliament, so there's nothing to really focus on in the news for the next couple of months. It's a long break. And they got you talking about some other stuff. To distract you, they even got two of their MPs rowing in the most nonsensical, well, not two of their MPs, but they got one of their MPs to speak out against it. So now everyone is going to talk about that, and no one's going to talk about this Eric Gardner situation, which is a serious situation in our country. It's a distraction to get you to stop talking about it, all right? Another reason the blackouts happen, and I'm going to touch on that right now, but another reason the blackouts happen is because whenever they're going to sell out something in your country, they get you to want them to do it. Remember when Ingram was trying to sell BTC? All of a sudden, the service was so bad. The calls was dropping like crazy. Remember that? It was like you just wanted to this BTC is garbage. It was to make you feel like, man, can't wait for them to sell this, man. It just let them get rid of this. That's to make you not want to go and protest like they did before. Because the service was so bad, let's bring in this new courier from International who will bring good service. Let's sell it. Remember that? Y'all focus. They make you want to get rid of it. So there will be no objection. No one could call for any protests, etc. The same thing is happening with BPL now. They just went to this LNG deal after coming out of a deal where they sold BPL out to Pike. Pike, I've shown you documentation where Pike was not one of the bigger electricity companies. They were one of the small fries. The acquisition of BPL pumped their company up. And then, all of a sudden, Pike itself was sold. In December 2025, investment firm TPG and Lacasse acquired a majority interest in Pike Corporation. It was sold for $5 billion. When the Pike deal happened, we didn't understand, like, what is this deal? You can't sell BPL legally. You cannot sell BEC. Right? That's the law. It cannot be sold. And so that's why they formed this thing called BPL and try to do some of this skullduggery with BPL. Um, and so what was the deal with Pike? Because they were not coming in to do generation of electricity. They were dealing with distribution, but there's no money in the distribution. There's no separate charge for the money going through the lines, the distribution. So what was this deal that you gave them this percentage for? It was almost like a sham. How were they going to make money from this? Because distribution money is not made from that. Money is made from the generation. So where was and so it was so confusing. But of course, as you see, and I showed you the documentation, you could Google it yourself. For the sake of time, Pike was sold, and the value of the deal was $5 billion, right in front of y'all face. I hope you understand the seriousness of what I just said. Are we gonna get anything for that? Nope. But y'all keep getting swing. We were getting started. We showed you the picture of Frankie Wilson holding up this card. The late Bernard is with him, but that's Frankie card for my grandchildren. I I showed y'all documents to show that the Bahamas was gonna start you going solar in small amounts, but they were gonna use Focal to buy the solar and then sell the energy to us that they get free from the sun. I told you that's what was going to happen, and it happened. Everything I said turned out to be true. I showed you the documents behind that. Then after that, Frankie Wilson came out and admitted it. So instead of us benefiting by getting reduced costs or getting free electricity because it's solar, nah. The money goes to Focal, which is owned by the FNMs and the PLPs. Now there's this thing about LNG. You'll remember that Leslie Miller was pushing for LNG many years ago. And he, was fought down. He wanted to bring LNG because he had a connection with someone. I guess he wanted to make that money. But he had a connection with somebody, and they didn't let it go through because Focal was like, we ain't doing that. That they're cutting out our profits, I guess. And so they did everything to vilify LNG. Oh, it could explode. Oh, this could happen. Oh, it ain't the best. Oh, this. They had every reason not to go to LNG. And Leslie Miller was saying this could save a lot of money. Now, years later, Focal is in the LNG and they're partnering with Shell West. And of course, now all of a sudden, because Focal could benefit from it, we go in LNG. Are you all focused on what's happening in your country right in front of your very eyes? They don't do nothing they can't make money from. Nothing. Now I'm going to play this video for you all again because a lot more people are on here than it was in the beginning when I was playing the videos. Okay, 11,000 people on here now. And so I'm going to play this video again for y'all so that y'all can see. The one with Jobette was really boring and dull and she was saying nothing. So I'm not going to play that one again. Go back and watch that if you need to watch that. But that was dull. That was really dull. But I'm going to Frankie Wilson and all of them, and I'll walk you through this.
Major move to secure financing for the country's first liquefied natural gas plant through a public focal hold. Our Devontae Hanna has the details in this.
Remember, I always told you in the Bahamas, when you see public-private partnership, you about to get swing. I told you all that before we exposed this stuff with Eric Gardner and all that. The Bahamians can benefit from it. All right? All it is a way for them to make money, for the private sector to make money off of us. And we pay for it. Let's go.
In this report tonight.
Months of discussions coming now to the final moment where the country will now have its first LNG plant constructed here in New Providence. Now it was all sealed with a ceremonial signing here at Zapadilla Restaurant.
Local's financing platform for its LNG to power project officially closed for a lump sum total of $379.2 million. That includes a $335 million Bahamian dollar syndicate loan led by CIBC with participation from RBC Royal Bank, Scotiabank, and Bank of the Bahamas. It also includes a US dollar component totaling $42.2 million from the US Export-Import Bank of the United States.
This transaction, which has been pegged at nearly $400 million, is a significant moment for the Bahamas.
So initially, this was in June. So initially, they looked at it as $400 million, but now in July, it's $500 million. It's $500 million. So that was in June, but now that everything is finished, it's $500 billion. And you heard Dr. Minnis talk about that. Dr. Minnis said when they were considering the LNG deal, it was $215 million for the same thing. So, well, for more actually, but so they don't know how this got inflated so much all of a sudden. And so that was Minnis' take on it, and he's actually right. It really inflated a lot from the original documents I saw when the F&M was looking at it. Of course, Minnis can't talk because he did nothing. All right, the F&M did nothing. Don't say you was considering it, you was talking about it, you was doing it, but the election came. What are you talking about? You called the election. And so y'all have no right to get in this conversation. But thanks for the information. Yes, this is more than double. And of course, that happens.
This according to Sir Franklin Wilson. He's the chairman of Focal Holdings Limited. He says that this is the largest quantum of Bahamian dollar for any private transaction in the Bahamas.
Great thought into this transaction was to make sure Focal has the capacity to grow. To grow.
Did you hear what he just said? The purpose of this PPP, nothing to do with the Bahamian people, nothing to do with the Bahamas, BPL. The purpose of this whole thing was for Focal to grow. Y'all listening? Who could benefit from this? Because y'all stay tuned. We got to talk about this. He said it with his own mouth. See, back in the day, they used to hide this stuff. They wouldn't outright say stuff like this. But now they feel that they're so untouchable that they could just, when election come, and throw a couple dollars on the ground. They could throw $50 million on the ground and then sign a big $500 million deal in which they're going to make billions of dollars. So throw that money on the ground during an election. We could take it right back from them. I'm about to get to that in a minute. But you heard him say it with his own mouth. The purpose of this was about Focal and for Focal to grow.
And this structure in Bahamian dollars and that alignment with US dollars opens a door that is extremely wide.
Now, a major campaign promise for the Davis administration within the last general election was to ease the burden on the Bahamian pockets. Now, Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis says with this introduction of LNG to the Bahamas, that is exactly what is expected.
It takes a lot to get us to that point in the grid, but the terminal is a key part of that. Building that regasification LNG terminal out at Clifton and then having that provide the LNG into the generation, The conversion of those engines would allow us to then see LNG being as the fuel that goes into the grid to provide power. And that would be one of the leading fuels. It's cleaner, it's affordable, and it allows us to bring the cost down, but also expand the technology.
And it's not the first time the introduction of LNG to the Bahamas has been discussed, but today's signing marked a historic move towards that goal. No exact timeline on the construction phase has been revealed. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
While a major move to secure financing for the country's first
ladies and gentlemen,
liquefied natural while a major move to secure financing for the country's first liquefied
so that whole thing is about focal. They said it. They seem about no PPP to benefit the people. This to grow focal. Now they spending $500 million. They could build the facilities in Clifton Pier to do this. $500 million. Here is the problem. They could have spent $500 million. $500 million and built solar facilities. Enough to power the whole Bahamas. Do you all hear that? For about half of what they're spending, based on the estimates they did, because Grand Bahama Power, they were saying that they were going to do solar plant for 1.3 something million dollars per megawatt, something around there. Let me get your exact numbers so people don't freak out. Okay, in Grand Bahama, it was $1.58 million per megawatt. That was the project benchmark they did. And of course, in Nassau, they said it was going to be $3 per megawatt for what they were planning to do. And so we know that they inflated that for Nassau because that's double, which, come on, double. And of course, that's the funny math that they do in politics, but $1.58 million per megawatt. And so a lot could have been done. Do you understand? They could have built a more than 300, because they're talking about 170 megawatts. All right, somewhere around there, up to 170 by the end on the second phase of this whole thing. Listen, for the same investment, we could have built 317 megawatts based on their numbers. And we would have still had 100, because we wouldn't spend all that. We would have still had $150 million reserved for batteries and a stronger grid. Do you understand that? We could have doubled to 317 megawatts. We could have almost doubled what they were talking about, or doubled what they were talking about in terms of megawatts. Enough to cover the whole Bahamas. And still have change left over to change your whole grid in the whole country and have batteries so that at night you still have power. And guess where the savings is? Guess where it is? Now you don't have to pay for fuel. The 30 million per month plus that they spend on fuel, because it is increased now, the normal $30 million per month they spend on fuel is much more now because the fuel price went up. You save that. So that's $360 million during normal times. That more than pays for the solar itself. Do you all see where our country is going? Do you see how messed up this is? Just so Focal could make money. And I told you all this was coming. This is what they're doing. Going to LNG, you still have a fuel bill. Even if you save 10, 15, 20%. Right now, BPL's consumption, based on their policy since 2021, they're using 60% light fuel, 30% heavy fuel, and 10% propane. That's what they're using right now. All right? The generation costs 12 to 15 cents per kilowatt hour. I'm reading from a study we put together. They're renting, so the rented Agreco 80 units had average variable costs of approximately 21 cents per kilowatt hour. So why are you renting? Oh, Lord. If you could do it for 12 cents, why rent and pay 21 cents? Just to get money to Focal Lemming. Because Focal is now using their engines to generate power, and they're already making money from this. Now, the LNG is going to go in their engines as they build this new thing. Listen, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So they're just going to send a little bit of dollars. And they're going to make a lot of money from y'all. Even with a profit-based situation, the solar is probably going to cost them 3 cents when you consider what it costs on any maintenance, etc. My Lord. The annual savings is staggering from going solar. Hundreds of millions of dollars. But they don't want that. They want you all suffering. They want to have these generators that break down so they can make money buying the parts. They want to have these generators so they could keep buying fuel. So they keep getting money. Solar is free. They could save hundreds of millions per year. Hundreds of millions. But no, they just want to make this money. There's not a huge savings for LNG. It is somewhat cheaper, but it is not a huge saving. Do you know what the savings is going to be? Someone guess. Guess what the savings is going to be. LNG is about $8.03 per cubic feet. And I know that's something different because it's not gallons or whatever, so it's hard to understand. That's in the US, I didn't hear. So for us, that'll be double or triple. All right. So guess what the savings is going to be when we go to LNG. Y'all sitting now? The savings is 1.5 cents to 4.5 cents per kilowatt hour based on the calculations versus the HFO, heavy fuel. So all this bragging and jumping up and down, they ain't giving you all no numbers, you know. The savings is about 1.5 cents to 4.5 cents. And guess what? You know that savings ain't coming to you. That's for their profit because it's about Focal, not about you. So if the savings is 1.5 cents to 4.5 cents based on US prices, because we don't have the prices here yet, but based on this research, it's based on US prices. What? Because when y'all was rowing Leslie Miller, y'all said the savings wasn't enough to take the risks to go into it. But now, of course, y'all change your whole mindset. Now let's go to who pays this back and how this gets paid back. We have all the numbers here and everything lined up. This is so. The government projected $50 million in fuel savings. Remember, right now, well, the normal price was $360 million per year. Now, fuel has gone up. I didn't calculate what it is now that they're spending. So, that $50 million is nothing. And that's just what they say, and we don't believe nothing they say anyway. All right? But who's going to pay for this $369.2 million amortized over 20 years, we assume, at 6 to 8%? That would require approximately $32 to $38 million in debt service. But it's really $500 million that's being spent now. And so that's $44 to $51 million annually just in debt service. So there will be no savings. So I want you to understand that. You put these numbers together for you. And so there's a reason why lower fuel prices may not produce equally lower bills. The 2024 electricity tariff order allows the fuel adjustment charge to include more than the commodity price of fuel. They are allowed the following: terminal or throughput fees, bank and foreign exchange fees connected with fuel payments, variable fuel costs under independent power producers agreements, fuel hedging costs, demurrage, testing and inspection fees, interest. So they're allowed to put all these stuff, adjust a lot of things so that they can joke you with the price. That's the first thing. The next thing is That saving is going to go to their profit, not to the people. And so what's really going to happen is, as always has happened, let me break this down for you while you're focused on this. Let me break this down for you. You'll remember I've shown you documents. Still have them here. If you're during the calling period, you want more, I can do that. I've shown you documentation where Focal has gotten money from NIB, your NIB that now has to go up because they raping and robbing it. Focal has gotten money from NIB used to buy the fuel from Shell West. So that's you already give them the money to buy the fuel. So they ain't spend their own money. NIB give them the money as investment. So it's no loan. It ain't something they gotta pay back. NIB give Focal the money. They buy the fuel from Shell West. And guess what? BPL now has to buy the fuel from Focal. But guess where they get the money from to buy the fuel from Focal? Remember, Focal's already got money from NIB to buy the fuel. Now, BPL gets the money from NIB as a loan to buy the fuel from Focal. So we provided the money twice. Us, our NIB money, for the same fuel. You say, why is the fuel surcharge so high? And then guess what we get? We get charged a fuel surcharge for them to pay it back. Different from your BEC bill. This how you get in swing. So they did the fuel surcharge and say, oh, it was just to pay the legacy debt and it's gonna go right away. That's what Perry Christie said. He always had a way to comfort people into fooling them. And it's gonna go away. Yeah, just for a few years, we're gonna charge a fuel surcharge. It was a new thing at the time. And it never went away. It got higher and higher and higher to where your fuel surcharge is now more than your bill. Because that fuel surcharge goes straight to Focal, who borrowed the money, well, not borrowed, but who got the money from us to buy that fuel in the first place. And BPL got the money from us to buy it from Focal. Yeah. And this is what we keep voting for. This is what we want. So let me tell you what's gonna happen with this, all this, what they borrowing to grow Focal. You go pay that back in taxes. So even if the difference in the cost with LNG versus the fuel they're using now wasn't 1.5 cents to 4.5 cents, even if you got a savings of 1.5 to 4.5 cents per kilowatt hour, even if you got a savings, the fuel surcharge can go up. In fact, they don't anticipate that because they're already set in place where the fuel surcharge goes up constantly on a scale. They'll already swing the Bahamian people. And we just sit right there and say, man, what we can do? Ain't nothing to do. F&M and PLPU, right? Because all the two of them in Focal, the two of them benefit from this stuff. Every time this crew get involved, the first thing that the first people that benefits is Frankie Wilson and the crew, which includes Orville Turnquest and the crew and everyone else. Remember last election? Immediately, they gave the contracts to build low-cost homes, starting in Pinecrest, Tarwac Homes. Then they made deals with Focals, giving them generation and all this kind of stuff. But F&M did it too when they was in Minister. Now we are here, and immediately, boom, $500 million. And Brave Davis is smart. That's a politician's politician, buddy. Penland was probably the best, the sharpest politician, not best, but sharpest politician we had. Ingram was a shrewd politician too, but Brave Davis is a shrewd politician on another level, and he's underestimated. Um, he's the one who shouldn't have won because people, had all this negative stuff to say, but he won anyway. Um, he was not in the good books with America, so what he did, he hired Roger Stone, who was Trump's people, and now this LNG deal is going through. America is going to have some benefits from it, and so one of the reasons the deal is made is to make sure that they suck up to America and make sure America is making some money from them. So maybe they wouldn't put any pressure as it relates to this Eric Gardner situation. Yo, let's make money, man. You could lock us up, or we could make money. That's how it looks like they're trying to do. What you gonna do? You gonna put Pintard there? Or you gonna let Lincoln them win? When they was campaigning on Safe It Brave, he wasn't talking to y'all. He was talking to America. So now he's saying, okay, you see, we ain't gonna work with China no more. We can work with y'all. We can find ways to pump money into America. And so y'all, please don't lock us up. That's what's happening behind the scenes, in my opinion. So y'all just got swing again. We got swing by giving all of our valuable assets to Pike, even the trucks. They take them and rip BC off them and put Pike on them. All our lines, everything we gave to Pike. And then Pike was sold for $5 billion. And I showed you their value is not even close to that. In fact, BPL was making more money than Pike in the documents I showed you. BPL should have been sold for $5 billion. If you could sell it, I mean. I wouldn't sell that. But we keep getting swing over and over and over. They keep urinating on us and calling it rain. They keep feeding us feces and calling it chocolate. And we keep allowing it. And we keep allowing it. Farmers, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? You tell the people, you got to stand up. You got to fight this. They don't want to risk their good job. They ain't coming out. They ain't coming out to get locked up. So you have to pay. So when your electricity is going the way it's going, and you're suffering in the hot sun, in the heat, and mosquitoes eating you alive, and your baby crying because they're hot, and you trying to survive with menopause, or your Grammy medicine is in the fridge being destroyed, you allowed that. The reason to stand up is so that you and your loved ones don't suffer. Come on, Bahamas, it have to be something for us to stand up for. It have to be. We can't just be content with sitting down and suffering and thinking that that's a good thing. We can't be content with that, man. That can't be right. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Maybe we need to suffer in order to get it right. No. Maybe they just want to see our MPs do good and us do bad. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it just be their best life and you suffering. Maybe. Because none of it is adding up. How much do we have to suffer before the people see the need to run these people out of town? Do Bahamians have to get to the point where they pick up a gun or pick up guns and have a coup like Traore and them did? Is that what needs to happen? Because the brave of us need to just stand up and have a coup d'etat so we don't have to suffer because some people take $50 or $200 to vote for the same people who making us suffer? I mean, what has to happen in this country? Where do we need to go? Are they just going to continue to cheat the elections and we just sit down and say, oh, well, they cheat. Okay, yeah. Everywhere I go, even big lawyers, small lawyers, regular people, business people saying, Lincoln, they cheated you. Okay, so we do what is right. We filed for election court and we're being ignored. So when the law of man fails you, what do? The principle is you go to the law of the jungle. Hold one sec, caller. I'll be right with you. So as a country, we need to decide what is going to happen from here on in. We need to decide. I'm going to take a break from going live on Sunday and give the Bahian people some time to reflect. I'm going to spend some time with my family. Maybe spend some time going to church because I haven't been able to go to church because I'm preparing for my live every Sunday. I went to church this morning. That felt like heaven. I felt like heaven. I went to Revolution Church this morning. It was fabulous. I felt at home. You know, maybe start dating so I could get married or something. But our country is broken. And we got to decide what we could do for our country. When I come back, we got to make a decision. I'm going to spend the summer with my children. When I come back, we got to make a decision. What we could do with our country. This makes no sense at all. The hospital was out of electricity yesterday. The hospital, the medical area, the critical area, out of no electricity. The hospital's in shambles. They haven't started anything to build in the new maternity clinic they was going to build. The clinic they was building in St. Barnabas area, that stopped. That stopped. Y'all notice they ain't building nothing? Nothing is happening. Because we let them cheat us. So we need to decide, I come to you right now, caller. We need to decide what it is we could do with our country. Out here taking the licks. Politicians coming after me left, right, and center. I mean, every week is a new lie with me. I don't mind taking the licks for this nation, but to be educated about the facts and still allow it to continue. How did the teachers protest before election? The leader of the teachers union hold up the prime minister hand when he did nothing. And then the next day he come and put his hand in her face like that. I mean, that's wrong. And then the teachers still let the PLP get in? The teachers let that happen? The police got their insurance taken from them. Police are wearing hand-me-down uniforms. Hand-me-down. From officers that died or left the force. Did the officers let them get back in power? What's happening to our country? Let me take this caller. Call you live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bean. Good evening, Bahamas. Derek Benjamin Demerit Jr. here. I was listening to you, and something you said to me kind of really stood out to me and rests on my chest. It actually hurt me, and that is with respect to the NIB funding. That is really earmarked for certain things, but there's a loophole. I think with respect to Section 10 that allows them to invest money, but there's really no return on the investment. So we putting money there, and
Because
we
when it's time
loosened.
for the return, they just loop it. And they say, okay, keep it.
The thing about it is, when I consider greed, the Bible talks about greed, and Mark and Luke and Jesus talk about greed, but greed will destroy a whole country. You understand, right? At the end of the day, these people want everything they see. You understand? They really don't need it. You see, greed is when you want more than you need at the expense of everyone else. You understand, right? Greed is the mismanagement of other people's resources for personal benefit. You understand? And so, with respect to what is taking place um, in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is really, 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 really a burden. You understand? Because it don't have to be this way. And you talk about taking a break and different things like that, and that's probably necessary, but I want to say don't get weary and well doing. You understand? Right? But at the same time, it comes a time in your life when you should take a break. You understand? A breather. You understand? So that you could be renewed. You understand? And like you say, you have other things. You have your children. You might want to start dating. You might want to start doing other things. And then, but when you come back, you understand? You really, really have to make a decision with respects to how we really go focus on this thing and deal with this thing, because it is sad to know concerning the LNG situation that they are, in my view, Bahamas, pushing back on solar and battery, right? They are delaying the process, okay? And so you're now dealing with this, you get the gas. You understand? They say natural gas and all that right there. But at the same time, they locking us in for so long, right? Let's just say, okay, they use beautiful language and say, okay, the LLG glass is a bridge to solar. You understand? And battery, right? But what you locking me in for 20 years for? You understand, right? If you lock me in for 5 years or whatever the case may be, okay, fine. But now, apart from that, you're going to invest what, $500 million with respect to all these different contracts and different things and the framework and the infrastructure and the this and the that and all that going on. But like you said, Mr. Bean, right, very wisely, at the end of the day, that money could be invested with respects to solar and battery, okay? And so, they ain't gonna take that long to get done, 12 to 18 months, right? We should have 30, 40% up and running and different things like that, right? So, we getting robbed, right? It's really not in our best interest. And at the end of the day, it's really about management, Bahamas. That's what this is all about. The politicians or government or a political organization is in the business of management. That's it. The COI and Lincoln Bay, they want to manage our affairs. The FNM and the P. It's about management. That's it. right? And so when they manage Bahamas, they're supposed to manage so that me and you, the public, we could benefit, not just a small group of people. You understand where you're coming from? It is still our monies, okay? You said something with respects to the police officers and things, man, hand me down and things like that. Boy, this is a sad time we living inside. That was funny just now. So you cheer me up a little bit on that, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't really laugh. But guess what? Mr. Ben, we allowing this to happen, you know. You understand where you're coming from? Yeah. Not you specifically, you know, because you fighting and different things like that, right? But as a nation, the conditioning is real. You understand? And so, like, we condition, you know, to not see things the way it ought to be for us. You understand? It's really, really a burden, man. It is really hurting. If I be honest with the Bahamas, quite frankly, I really don't have a problem financially, you know. You understand where I'm coming from? I ain't eating off no politician, off no PLP or no EF&M and all them. They never do nothing for me, only through the grace of God. You understand where I'm coming from? And because of my ability to manage the little I have. Are you hearing me? You see? So, you know, I shouldn't even be saying nothing, really and truly, but at the same time, Mr. Bain, from a human rights perspective, you understand? I can't not say something. I got to say something because I know what it is when you need help from these people in different names. And my situation was consistent with respects to Hurricane Darn and the pandemic, and these people will sit back and watch you die. They even ain't want to help you with your own money. That's how dangerous this little, what this is? This paradise is. Gangster paradise. You understand where you're coming from? You see? So from a human rights perspective or activist, really, people don't know, but that's really what have me going. You understand where you're coming from? I look at things from a human rights perspective. So you could call me a human rights activist if you want, but at the same time, that's what really motivates me. You understand where you're coming from? And I, you know, it's just, it is what it is. But thank you, sir.
Thank you too. I appreciate you call. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995 is the number. You can call. Bring this on silent. Let me get this ready for y'all. 803-5995 is the numbers. You can call in. And call in fast because I'm going to be going in a second, and there'll be no live at 5 until probably the House of Assembly opens again in September. I think maybe we will need a chance to contemplate and see what's going on. We need to decide what we can do with our country. I hear the people crying every day, man. The people don't have nowhere to live. People calling every day. They just need something. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, call you live. Go ahead, caller. Yes, caller, you live. Go ahead. Okay. I mean, people can't afford an apartment because they let the illegal immigrants come and flood this country and take all the apartments. People can't afford land. People don't know how they're going to eat. I've been buying groceries for some people recently. And I let them get whatever they want. The first set of people I did that for, the first time it was, they just got a certain amount of stuff, right? The trolley. It was literally $700 and something. Hold a line, call. I'll get you right now. The second time, it was $800 and something. $800 for a trolley of grocery, a trolley. And today it was $900 and something. How people living in this country? Call you live. Go ahead. Hi. Go ahead.
My name is Charlotte Rose. Damien. I live
Yeah.
in Florida.
Okay.
My mom also lives in Florida, but she died in 2019, and we tried to get the death benefits from NIB, and they refused to pay us. I went to Nassau twice. Not only that, they withhold her benefits from her retirement for 10 months because they said somebody made a call and said she wasn't getting it. When they checked the bank accounts in the Bahamas, they saw everything was there. They reinstated it, but they refused to give her the 10 months. They said it was lost. The outcome of that is they said they paid the benefits in bank and they won't show us proof, and that's it. They cut off all communication.
Wow.
So
There's a simple solution to your problem. And I deal with calls like this every day, all day. The solution is to remove the PLP and F&M and get a government that's actually going to look out for the people and get things right. But that's easier said than done right now. Give me a call on Monday afternoon, and then I'll see how I could help you, all right?
Okay, at the same number?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. God bless. 803-5995 is the number. The amount of suffering going on in this country. Let me tell you something. The solutions that we brought to this country, we would have already seen it by now. We would have already been delivering free water. Our plan showed exactly where the money was coming from to do this. It's only $70 million to give us free water the way things is now. We were going to cut out the middlemen and bring that cost all the way down. You could never save or get a better price or be efficient with a middleman. And so we could deliver free water, we believe, for about $20 million. Less than one a brave them trip. Oh, man. Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, call you live.
Yes. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to let Mr. Bay know that we are being encouraged by him, and that even though he may need a break, we need to unite to do something about what's going on, because everybody isn't. Okay, that's not me.
Go ahead. Don't listen to your TV. Just listen to your phone.
Okay. But we need to do something, because even the teachers, I don't know what teachers didn't stand up, but I know I stood up for Mr. Bain and what he stands for, because I've been his teacher, and they don't want to give us anything. But then who are they building their lives on? If it wasn't for teachers, where would we be?
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing, but it's stupid. It's really, really dumb and really stupid. But where would we be without teachers?
Yeah.
Pay the teachers what they need. We need to live too. When children don't have food, we feed them. When they don't have clothes, we give it to them.
Yes.
Schools don't have air conditioned. Schools don't have this. Schools don't have that. People in government living in their highfalutin houses, and they have air conditioning all day long. What do we have? Nothing. You know, this needs to be real. Mr. Bain, be encouraged and continue to do what you're doing. Yeah, you need a break. I understand that. People seem as if they're not supporting you, but we really are. We just need a time, and you just say, let's go. Be ready. Let's go. Bye.
Thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Yes, some teachers came out there on the march. If enough teachers had come out to fill that square, the government would have had to bow. All you got to do is fill the square in any country. It's international law. And then the government would get the call. You have to step down. You fill the square, the police pushes back, the government pushes back to say, all y'all go home. You refuse to go home. You stay, and the government must step down. You watch it on TV all the time. suffer? How much your children have to suffer? Call you live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bain. How
Good
you doing?
afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm alive.
I called to say a few things today. I am so sick and tired of this government and their complicitness to corruption and wrongdoings in the House of Assembly, the Senate, and the lower house, also in the courts. You can't get nothing done. If something happens with the police, my thing is, and they're doing so much different things, and then I look at, they took the election. They didn't steal it, because when you steal something, nobody knows. Everybody could have seen what's going on. I am so disgusted. I am upset. I am disappointed. But until the Bahamian people get sick and tired of this government, nothing is going to happen. And guess what they're doing? The Prime Minister got $1 million to travel, not to increase the senior people, not to fix the hospital, not to correct with NIB and all these things that are going on and give the teachers their money and the doctors and the nurses. It's all about him and his family. And guess what? The other MPs who scared to talk and know what's going on in Parliament, they being paid out. And guess what? He getting paid. Plus he increases travel. Plus he getting sidekicks and different businesses. And he have many other businesses and the MP too. And I see all of them in the House of Assembly dress up in their roach tail and they suit, laughing like hyenas, and people suffering and sleeping on the side of the road and they ain't got nothing to eat, and NIB ain't giving them, not NIB, social services ain't giving them nothing. They treat the Bahamian people so bad. Listen, until the Bahamian people get sick and tired and want to do something about it, ain't nothing gonna happen. They need a little more suffering. That's why I got you. So you can take a break and let them squash. All them people who was around here drinking and they was cooking food, they all going in their corner and trying to buy a little piece of grocery. You know what people doing when they go in the food store? They picking up what they need and leaving the rest. If they picking up one bag of rice and tomato paste and a piece of meat, they can't buy grocery and get 3 and 4 and 5 children. But there's the same people who was up and down shaking up on the PLP thing. That election was taken, and I am highly upset about it. And ain't nothing is being done. I got y'all on wait, and you talking about going to the court system? Listen, them people only doing what Brave tell them to do. They ain't doing nothing different. I am tired. I'm tired. Every time I go, you got to help someone with this. I start telling people, you won't call your MBA. You won't ask the MP for some money. I start doing that, Lincoln, because there's too much crap. They go on shaking up because they fix their house or cut down their tree or give them a couple dollars only gonna last for a week or two, and then they back hungry again. You hear me, Lincoln? This is going on.
Yeah.
Have a good vacation, yeah?
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
All right. God bless you. 803-5995 is a number. Call you live. Go ahead. I'm alive. How you doing?
Good, Lincoln, I calling you, right? I glad you say you're going to take a break. You need a break, When you was in Abaco, I was one of the rally people in one of those meetings with you. And I tell you, I said these BM people so fake, Lincoln. I love what you're doing, But the BM people, they ain't serious. They like crumbs. You need to take a break for a good little while, so they can see what you're doing. But taking a break, that you need that. You understand? Because I see you as a good person, man. You fighting for the people. You really want the people to have something in this country. But the people don't want to have anything in this country. They just want crumbs, So until the people decide they don't want crumbs, then you could come whenever you see them ready. You will know. If you stay away for a while, you will see. You will see. You would see, and I always tell you when I tell you, when I was in the meeting in Abaco, I was rally up because I say all of these people in your union band, they fake. I guarantee I was going to vote COI. Don't care what they do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know the people, you understand? These PM people fake, especially when you see they can get a little bit of South chicken, little barbecue ribs, a little bit of rum to drink, dope to smoke, whatever it is coming into the election, like how the politicians is used to people. Lincoln, I'm gonna tell you something. Take your break. You did well. That's all I can say. You enjoy your evening, all right?
Thank you, man. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you too.
All right.
I always on your side. Always remember that.
Thank you, man.
All right?
Call you live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bain. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Right, there's a few things that I'd like to bring to attention as a young layman. Right? Firstly, I'm 21. I'm a first-time voter, and I voted for change. I voted for the principle of goodness and graciousness that the Bahamas desperately needs. It really does. It really needs it. But it doesn't seem as if people are understanding and getting the point of diplomacy. Okay, as an example, in my workplace, just recently I spotted Dave Monroe. And it didn't seem as if he was for the people, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And he cherished and he gloated saying, who ready to get this and who ready to get that. I had a question for him. And just as the lady previously had stated, with all the grocery bills and everything being high, I asked him, I said, Mr. Monroe, what about change? What about the change that you promised us? What about the change that you promised the people? The folks of the Bahamas, the ones that are supposed to look up to you. As my MP, I'm supposed to look up to you. What about change? He had no response for me. That shook me. I didn't appreciate it because you're asking for a vote. Although it is a mandate that every 5 years that you give something back as a person, my vote means my choice. The choice to have the freedom and to trust you and to entrust my being to you. As a Bahamian, not as a person, but as a Bahamian, I trust that you would make the right decision. Do for me as I do for you. I'm unable to do things for myself at some point in time, but I hope that you assist me, not in ways, but at least better my surroundings. That's not happening. It really is not happening. Secondly, another thing that had bugged me and had really upset my spirit is about your spokesmanship on foreigners moving into the country. And I'm not a hypocrite. I have no problem with other people or other beings of races. I'm not. I really am not judgmental. But the things that I'm seeing and the things that happen is really upsetting me. It's really bothering me. For example, I have to rely on bus. I don't have a public transportation at the time, which is okay. It's fine. But I see Bahamians having those that are without a home or that doesn't have a water supply. They rely on the public pumps. I see officers pushing them away from the public pumps so that the Haitians and the Jamaican can use them. They are in place for the Bahamian people, and it didn't sit right with me. Because if you are supposed to be, you're wearing the honorary blue and black with the red stripes, that means you are part of the Bahamian government. You're supposed to stand for the people, not always that came in and invaded on something that's supposed to be special, that's supposed to be ours. It's not right. It really isn't.
Yeah.
The way that it's just shifting and it's going around, I don't like it. I just wanted to state that concern with you because I know that that's a strong topic for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
All right. Bahamians really suffering in this country. Not December. The last time I was in the grocery store, I was buying groceries for someone. the parking boys, when I come in, they normally rush to me. Um, they rush to be the first to me, and then they rush to like partner. They help me shop and stuff, and because I tip them heavily. I tip them, $50, like $150. I tip the parking boys. Hold the line, caller. I'll get right with you. Hold one sec. I'll normally tip the parking boys. Like today, I tipped them $150. All right, and so they crowd to me. And so the last time I went in there to buy groceries for someone, um, the parking boys, they were, of course, they was haggling over who's gonna serve me, and some of them partner up and they decide to split whatever, and they they served me. But one of them, he had such a cry that really touched me. That really touched me because a couple weeks ago when I was in there, um, I heard one of them say, no, a couple weeks, I was actually a couple of months. One of them told a parking boy, another, they were like shelf boys. He told them, or parking boys, he told them, he said, I gotta learn your language so you can't play with me no more. He said, I gotta learn your language. The Bahamian was talking to the Haitian parking boy. So I gotta learn your language. Y'all can't play with me no more. Y'all can't take advantage of me no more. That hurt me when I heard him say that. It's like in our country, our children were are being pushed out, being bullied. I never liked seeing people getting bullied. That was always something that triggered me. Um, and then when I went there a few days ago, the parking boy, as two of the parking boys, look like they bullied their way to be the persons to serve me. And the Bahamian parking boy was like in front of everybody in the store, Mr. Bean, all of them is Haitian. All of them is Haitian. Don't let them park for you. I's Bahamian. That hurt me that that young man had to say that. Fighting for his place in his own country. In his own country. He got bullied. He got pushed to the side as a Bahamian. Because they together, they united. So they got deal with the Bahamians. And my response to the young man was, I do this to help you all. It's my way to give back. That's why I come in here and I help other people and I help you all at the same time. That's how I give. And I don't care about people's nationality when I helping them. But I want you to know that I understand your pain and I can help you as much as I can. But I'm not against Haitians. I'm against illegal immigration. That tore me up to have to talk to that young man. I ended up tipping each of them, all of them, $50 each. Probably about six of them. Because many of them working because they have single mothers at home and they the older son and they gotta help. And it tears me up to see what Bahamians going through in this country. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Lincoln Bean. How you doing?
I'm alive.
That's good. Glad to hear. I only called with this quick suggestion, and I'm gonna let you go. I on the live on Facebook, and I'm reading, and I'm participating in these comments and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
And I seen a lot of people saying go Russell Square, Fuller Square, and stuff like that. But I feel like the Bahamian people are more so scared to do that. I feel like they need a backbone, and you are the backbone to give us that push to go Rawson Square. If you would give the Bahamian people a date and broadcast it on your platforms, all of your platforms, and give us a date to go Rawson Square. If 98% of the Bahamian people don't show up there, then just how the Bahamian people are thinking. But I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I am ready for a change. I will be out there, whatever time you say. Me and my family gonna be out there. Even my babies and all will be out there because it's a future I'm fighting for, and it's for them. And that's what all I call to say.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you too.
All right. To be effective, it has to be. Hold a line, call. I'll get right to you. It has to be done while the House is in session. They shut down the House until September. They know why, so that no one could question them about the plane crash or the on May 12th or the arrest of Eric Garner, etc. And that they hope that you stop talking about it or some other stuff come up by then, so that you don't want to come out anymore. That they could do a little couple things that everyone get pacified. The electricity won't be bad anymore by then because the purpose for making electricity bad and letting this deal go through with LNG would already be true. And so, yeah, so it can't be done till September. Caller, you live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ben. How are you today?
I'm alive.
Man, listen to me. I just want to encourage you. I know you need a little break, but boy, what could I say? After you've done all you can do is just stand. You were called to this fight. People like us, we were called to this fight. I'm going to share my testimony. I heard your testimony. But I'm going to just share it. Just bear with me a minute. Just boy, for my election, I had a knockout. I don't want to call. I normally just listen to Steve McKinney's show. I didn't want to just listen to nothing else. I was just so hurt. I'm just coming around. Honestly, I just coming around. I was so hurt because I really was dreaming about this new Bahamas. It's coming, It's coming, Mr. B. Let me tell you something. When you look all down to the Bible, I'm a believer in Christ. When you look all down to the Bible, let's use Pharaoh. God used Pharaoh, and he hardened his heart. And when he finished with him, he destroyed him and his house. These PLPs you see here enjoying their lavish life living, I want to tell you something, so they don't understand what they are doing. They are bringing something on their children and their children's children. We are suffering in this country. The people are suffering. I'm going on 61. I am 61, going on 62. And I was working for change from that time, PLPFNM. Then I switched over to the COI. I voted for the COI both times. But that election, Stevie Wonder could see that Brave Davis didn't take that election. You didn't lose that. They take the election. I was telling my wife, I said, I don't care how it looked. Mr. Bain, them, is only going to win 3 seats. 3 seats. It ain't nowhere in the world. See, but God allowed to happen when the show on the screen where he was leading. All of a sudden, Mr. LaRota. But boy, let me tell you something. These people, but anyhow, Mr. Bain, I'm going to tell you my story. My mother had 11 children. This is what she told me. And she told me she was going to get tied off with her 11 child because she had too much. And the 11th child died. She said she ain't going to go through no 9 months of toting no baby and go home with no dead baby. She want to have the joy of toting a child for 9 months. And she went back and she had me, which was the 12th one. Mr. Bain, let's be encouraged. Sometimes I just want to give up, but there is a burning desire in me. What I do is I preach on the streets, Mr. Bain, in Foxhill, around wherever the Lord lead me. Sometimes you just want to give up,
leaving me. Mr. Bean, God has called us to something. Take a break. Yes, you need a rest. But when you finish, get back on the wall. We have an assignment to do. No matter, no matter. It doesn't matter right now to me. I know one thing. Everything is in God's hand. And God is going to have the victory. They think that they're going to have the victory. But don't worry. I know one thing for sure. And I know they like listen to you. All of you all who are under the sound of my voice or who like carry message back, you all carry this back. You all gonna meet God face to face one day. The Bible said, no man see God face and live. That means when you see him face to face, that means it's over for you. Your time's up. Your time is winding over. Mr. Ben, you be encouraged. Take your break and rest yourself. I love you so. Man, listen to me. And we support you, and I really, man, I dreaming about this new Bahamas. Man, listen to me. Oh, Jesus, I was hurt so bad. Man, I ain't get over that hurt yet. Only the grace of God brought me over. I never was like this in Parliament. And the people, them, man, I mean,
But thanks for your call. I got to take some other calls, okay?
Yes, Mr. Ben, I appreciate it. You have
God
a good
bless you.
evening, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Call you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Don't listen to your TV. Listen to your phone.
Hello, good night, Mr. President.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm alive.
Overall is well, man. You know, be encouraged, man. I know you're tired. Get your little rest. But then, this is what God called you to do, man. Just, just rest yourself. But then, don't leave us out here like that. Many people still need you. You still have some people out there who believe in you and believe in God. Don't give up now. Okay? Be
Yeah.
encouraged.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Don't give up now, man. You
All
know what I
right.
mean? When you do all the stand, still stand. All right?
Thank you.
Love you, man.
All right. Love you too. Yeah, I as he was speaking, he talked about, I think he said he was preaching on the streets and stuff. It reminded me of the young man who was locked up during COVID for preaching on the streets. And also he was harassed on Woodrow just walked the other day. Hold the line, caller. You next. Just let me say this one thing before we continue. To that young man, I want to encourage you to go in the lion's den if you have to. Never let them shut you down. Continue to stand up. If God sends you on the corner to preach, you go on the corner and you preach. That police officer is wrong. Not ethically, legally. It is illegal what he did. You do not need a permit to stand on the sidewalk and preach. When asked what the offense was that the young man was committing, the young man asked him that. Very good question. He said unlawful assembly. Unlawful assembly is when 3 or more persons are gathered together and behaving in such a way that they put the surrounding people in fear that they will uh, tumultuously they will carry on tumultuously, which means heading for a riot. That's what unlawful assembly is. That officer was wrong, and what he did was illegal because the law, the penal code, also says that if someone is lawfully assembled, it is against the law to interfere with them or to remove them. That's the law, and I can pull that up if you want me. I couldn't believe I was hearing that officer saying such stupidness for a young man who is on the streets preaching the word of God. Where's our country come to? And no one stood up for him in the church. The Christian Council should have been all over that. That's a young man, not to the club, not shooting people, not taking drugs. preaching the word of God. Young man, I don't know you. Call me on this number you see on the screen right here. I will go on Bay Street with you and let that officer come. Let him come and try to silence God with me there. That is not unlawful assembly. If you are going to have an event on a park or something, they put the law in place where you get permission to have your event on the park. They recently made it so that they could charge you for cleanup and that kind of stuff. That's the public sidewalk that we paid for. Now, if you are going to have a parade in the road, you get permission from the commissioner of police to use the streets. None of you are going to stand on the sidewalk and preach the gospel. I don't care even if the law had said that. With all that's happening in this country, you should want to encourage a young man doing what he is doing. You evil demon that threatened that young man with arrest for preaching the gospel of Christ. Young man, call me. I don't know you. Call me when you want to go back out there. And we'll go live together and tell the officer, come. They are out of order. Country going to the dogs and police wasting effort on a young man who is preaching the gospel. Young man, please call me. Let's go there. I will come with you. Please. This country is going crazy. Caller, you live. Go ahead.
Good day to my future Prime Minister.
Good day.
I was listening. I listen every Sunday, and I just wanna make it something that is obvious. On election day, I watched from beginning to end, and I saw a little memo come across the screen on Facebook saying there was a plane crash with the union, and I was looking, and I'm like, hold on, nobody is talking about it. Why isn't anybody talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
The next day, the same thing. And then I saw it on the U.S. news. And I was like, hold on, something isn't right. Even, I was one of them watching apart from that, I was one of them watching the numbers, watching the polls, and I was ready for you to win. I said, hold on, what happened here? So we all don't want to cause with that. Like I said, it just was strange to me about the plane crash. Because I was like, why isn't nobody talking about this? I mentioned it to my husband. He said, they probably ain't talking about it because of the election. I said, no. I said, this happened that morning. I said, people were going to the polls and voting. So this is something that should have come across the news as breaking news, a plane crash with the human persons on it, XYZ, however the case may be. So that's a poor excuse. So I don't agree with that statement, what he has said. Nevertheless, after listening to a few pastors, I realized that the numbers of persons in our country is under a warfare. And we have people coming on social media that is saying, yes, we are under warfare attack. And we have some people coming on saying that this is why everything that's happening. We're saying, it's the devil. Why are we giving the devil praise? We are not giving the devil praise. We call it the ones who are in the spirit, the ones who have that relationship with God, the ones that know, we see it for what it is. And so the country is under warfare attack. And one of my other points I call about in regards to that is I'm watching with the 300 teachers that they are bringing from Ghana.
Yes.
And they can pay our teachers. And I'm like, okay, numerous of pastors said some deals was made. The government, they went to some altars and they did some strange things. It is obvious. And if you are a man of God or a woman of God and you tap in, you would know that that's what it is. And so with everything that is going on, our country is under warfare attack. And I feel those 300 teachers that are coming from Ghana was a part of a deal made for them as to how they got into where they are now. That has to be a deal made. Because I see persons talking about the children are the average and the teachers doing this and the teachers doing that. What is the structure? What is the proper structure for students? Some teachers are fed up because some teachers there's some teachers, most teachers do everything out of their pocket because the budget that is given to them is little to we can't blame teachers and I would say even children too for the average. I'm not going to tell you why. You have a lot of children out there and a lot of parents out there and families out there that cannot afford, and I'm talking about government, that booklet that come out in July in the beginning of August. That long booklet that you have to purchase books and you spend over $100 to $200 for workbooks. And then you have teachers now, okay, you cannot provide this. So guess what? It's going to cost you now it's going to cost you to be behind because now the teacher can't wait on you because it's going to slow down for other persons who have their supplies or who have whatever was required before school starts. My thing is, why can't the government come together in each constituency, see where it's lacking, see where children are lacking in terms of that part of it, come together and provide those books. Do photocopies. Provide a photocopying machine to constant to print. You understand? Like, help the children, help the teachers alleviate the stress of a parent. Like you said, you went to the fourth store, $900, $800, $700 and guess what? School ain't open yet. So you can imagine when school open.
Yeah. But thanks for your call. I got to take some other calls, all right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Call you live. Go ahead. Okay, we lost them. Let me just show you all the law quickly. And to that officer, I guess he was just trying to find something to tell the young man to get rid of him. But you have to go by the law. We're governed by the rule of law, not by police officers. And so I just want to put this here so everyone can know their rights. We did this call first. Call you live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dean.
Good afternoon, man.
I want to be the first to say Happy Father's Day to you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I realized that we have a gentleman in Grand Bahama by the name of Bob. Just the other day it was raining and he was on the corner and he almost got knocked down trying to solicit money, and he's actually blind. And the thing about it is, it sort of hurt me to see the PLV pick him up and then throw him on the side of the road, I would say. So what I want to really say to you, sir, is we've been eating from this three-legged table for so long, sir. I think it's time now for us to eat from a four-legged table. So I want you to, enjoy your vacation. And when you come back, I think if the Bahamian people aren't pick up as yet, I think the problem is no one else but us. And I want to say thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, man. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the law on the screen next to me. And this is the law as it relates to unlawful assembly. All right. This is the law regarding that. And so it says if three or more persons together in any public or private place, commence or attempt to do any of the following, namely, to execute any common purpose with violence and without lawful authority. So you see it says with violence and. So it needs to be all two of them. Call, I'll get right to you. Just hold the line. Without lawful authority to use such violence for that purpose, to execute a common purpose of obstructing or resisting or executing of any legal process or authority to facilitate by force or by show of force or numbers the commission of any crime, they are guilty of a riot. All right? Persons are not guilty of a riot by reason only that they to the number of 3 or more suddenly engage in an unlawful fight unless 3 or more of them fight with a common purpose against some other person or persons. Now, unlawful assembly, this is 79. An unlawful assembly is an assembly of 3 or more persons. Do you see this? Do you think that officer knows how to read who harassed that good, decent Christian young man? Assembly of 3 or more persons. There was one young man with intent to carry out any common purpose, assemble in such a manner or so conduct themselves when assembled as to cause persons to in the neighborhood of such assembly to fare on reasonable ground, it got to be reasonable grounds, that the persons so assembled will disturb the peace tumultuously. That means break up the place. Or will by such assembly needlessly and without any reasonable occasion provoke other persons to disturb the peace tumultuously. How could what that young man have been doing? How could that, according to this law, be unlawful assembly? To stand on the sidewalk and preach. How could it? For that officer to lie to the Bahamian public that that young man was committing lawful assembly by speaking to him, knowing that he was recorded. He's speaking to the Bahamian public. Persons unlawfully assembled together may become an unlawful assembly if they conduct themselves with a common purpose in such a manner as would have made the assembly unlawful if they had assembled for such a purpose. Any assembly of 3 or more persons for the purpose of protecting the house of any one of their number against persons threatening to break or enter into their house in order to commit any crime is not unlawful. So if someone breaking your house and your neighbors come together to break up that person, to beat them up, to defend your house, that's not unlawful. All right? If you are unlawfully assembled, you don't get a ticket. You don't get arrested. This is what happens. They must make a proclamation for you if you become tumultuous. It says any magistrate, or in the absence of any magistrate, any justice of the peace, or any commissioned officer in Her Majesty's military or navy. In other words, they read you the riot act. All right? And also the law says, I'm going to go straight down to 41 because there's more to that. But they can't just arrest you. They got to, because you have a right to assemble. They can't just take that. There's things they have to do. They have to read you the riot act. That's what it's called. I'm going to go down to 421. I'm going to go straight down there. So you could see how the officer was breaking the law by harassing that young man. It says in 421, disturbance of lawful assembly. So if you are lawfully assembled, it says whoever unlawfully and with violence obstructs the assembly of any persons for any lawful purpose or disturbs any such assembly or with violence disperses or attempts to disperse any such assembly is guilty of a misdemeanor. You are guilty of a crime. If persons are assembled for a lawful purpose. And you disturb them.